So we're a few seconds away from the green flag. Henny and Hatton, the front row of the grid, Gregory Leader, Steve Ficacci and James Wingfield, your top five for this first of 3 races at the Silverstone Bridge Grand Prix circuit for the 5th round of the Missed Apex Formula Renault Challenge, and it's the green flag, and Henny leads the field away. Hatton looks like he got a reasonable start, but it doesn't look like he's going to quite challenge him on the way into Copse Corner. Meanwhile, Ficacci has gotten straight up into 3rd place. I think Gregory Leader might have had some connection issues because we saw him blinking on the grid. Maybe he didn't even make the start. So it's Ficacci in 3rd place. Henny leads Hatton. And we've got James Wingfield in 5th place, being closely followed there by John Lang. And then we've got championship leader Sam Harper ahead of Anil Singh, Tim Ellis, and Alexander Dobersberger just getting up ahead of Conor Meyer, who's now coming under pressure from Edward Shelley. Adam Rosales off at the exit of Maggots and Beckett. Up at the front of the field, though, it's David Hatton trying to get around the outside of Stowe Corner. And he's got it done just about. Henny is going to try and fight him on the exit, and they are side by side for the lead of the race on this opening lap. Hatton's got the inside line on the way into the rail chicane. Henny's trying to brave it around the outside, and Hatton locks up and gets a little bit of a wiggle on, and that has allowed Ficacci through and James Wingfield. That's not what Hatton needed at all.
I was so clean right up to that point. I think he just got a little bit squirrely on the power trying to get around the outside of Henny, and that's cost him 2 places.
So Ficacci trying to get around the outside of Henny. He's bumped Henny, and Henny's robbed. Hatton's through into the lead. That's exactly what he needed. So a complete change of fortunes, but that has allowed Sam Harper to get through into 3rd place as well. So Hatton leads, John Lang, Sam Harper in 3rd place. Oh, Hatton's gone off somewhere because John Lang has gone into lead. Sorry to cut over you there, but he's now coming under pressure from his championship rival, Sam Harper. What an opening lap at Silverstone. John Lang leads David Hatton, who's having a look towards the inside, but I don't think he's going to find a way through there. He's just got to cover off Sam Harper. So it looks like 4 for the lead at the moment. Hatton has got a great run out of Copse Corner, though. He's put Lang under pressure and forced him wide. Is he going to be able to go side by side with him through Maggots and Beckett? This is tight, and he's got through. Has he just gave Lang a little bit of a chop there as they went into the left-hander.
Oh, that was super brave going through there. That was such high speed. I'm amazed they didn't come together. He's got a little bit of a drag down a hanger straight, and Lang is coming under pressure from behind. Yeah,
Ellis is making a move on James Wingfield for 4th place, and Harper is trying to follow Hatton's footsteps. Having a look towards the outside of Stowe, but actually it was Lang who was looking like he was putting more pressure on David Hatton. So we've got this good 5 for the lead, and Harper was very early on the brakes, and that's an open invitation for James Wingfield. He's tagged Harper! Harper is round, and now he's going to lose out as well, and Ellis and Dobersberger come together as well. What is going on here at Silverstone?
This is elevating Kyle Power. He's now up into 8th place.
Charging through there, trying to get ahead of Anil Singh.
This is absolute chaos in this first few laps here.
Bonkers. This is like watching a genuine Formula E race, isn't it? So Edward Shelley, after a pretty disaster qualifying for him, is now looking at the back of Kyle Power. He just had a little sniff up the inside of Anil Singh going into Priory. I'll just update you further back. I can see Henny making his way through the pack. So he went across the line in 14th place last time around. We'll see what it is this time. It should be a fair bit higher up with all the drama going on up at the front of the field. Hatton, well, it's got a half a second lead over John Lang.
He is tucked right up under the rear wing of our very own Richard Spanners-Ready. He comes across the line in 11th place, just behind Spanners in 10th.
So that's pretty good for him. As we mentioned, Carl Power now up into 6th place. Although he's making the moves because he's gone past Anil Singh, and Edward Shelley has followed him through now, and he's looking at the back of championship leader Sam Harper for 4th place.
What do you do if you're Harper here? Because there's a couple of really fast guys behind him, but he's got to think of his championship lead. He goes defensive.
He's got to think right now because Power's going for it around the outside. He's got the momentum on him, and Shelley might just follow him through there. Tim Ellis, meanwhile, is going to make a move on Anil Singh into Stowe Corner as well. And Harper has lost 2 places into Stowe Corner. If Hatton can keep it on the road, he's going to take a big chunk out of Harper's lead today.
Yeah, Shelley made a good use of the double slipstream there. It seems to be very powerful here today in these cars.
Oh, big move from Henny around the outside. That's brave given what happened to him earlier and what we saw happen at that chicane on lap 2. But he's made his way through. And we've got Spanners side by side with Colin Ward. Of course he is, because that's how it's been all week, apparently. So he's, I think that's Ward making a move on Spanners in the number 11 car.
It is. I think Spanners is going to put his usual conservative driving style out the window for this, because this is definitely a massive rivalry that's brewing here between him and Ward. Absolutely. If he can keep up. He's under pressure from Ismail Basso behind him.
Yeah, of course, he won here on the national layout in the reverse grid race. Give an update on Trumpets as well. He was 20th across the line last time round. We'll see where he is this time. Henny, meanwhile, is still making his way through the pack, and he's about to make a move on Harper, and it got very, very close into Cop's corner as they were tucked up behind Tim Ellis. And well, Harper had a pretty poor run over there, and Henny's already got him. That was Yellow Ooms ahead of them, actually, excuse me. Both got...
Ooms went actually around the outside of him, and that put Harper on the back foot, which let Henny just breeze by on the exit.
Yeah, and Henny's now having a look at Ooms, and just behind them as well, we've got 4 cars going wheel to wheel. Spanners looking up the inside of Colin Ward, trying to get back that position, as Anil Singh is ahead of Sam Harper as well. I wonder if Harper's got damage, because it seems to be falling down the order. And
yeah, I think his front wing has got a slight bend in it, because he's just not got any straight line speed at all.
Spanners making, tried to make an ambitious move around the outside of Vale work. I think he's compromised his exit, actually, because he's now coming under pressure from Ismail Basso, and he'll soon have Shane Jordan on his tail as well. He's fended off Basso for now into Abbey. So Danny Henny, meanwhile, is in 6th place, I make it, because we've got Kyle Power 4th, just ahead of Edward Shelley. Then comes Ooms and Singh and Harper, still just holding on to that top 10, it would seem. Up at the front of the field, Hatton's just stretching his legs a little bit. Set a 45.1 last time around. That was more than a second quicker than Lang. Gaps up to 2.2 seconds. James Wingfield in a bit of a lonely 3rd place, although I think Carl Power might be coming for him. He was nearly half second quicker last time round, and Shelley is almost matching his pace.
Yeah, Harper's in real trouble here. He just lost another place. He's got a really damaged nose cone and left front wing end plate, and that's just giving him no straight line speed, and also a lot of understeer through the corners. He's right under pressure here now from Spanners, and also from Basso as well.
This is interesting. What's Spanners going to do with this? The cautious cat, and well, it seemed like it was too easy for him. Harper seems to be lacking some top end speed, so whatever damage has been done to that car, it seems to be affecting his straight line performance, because Spanners just blitzed by and Basso nearly followed him.
Yeah, it's a disaster for his championship, because he's just falling backwards and backwards. He's now back to 11th place and under pressure for 12th.
Shane Jordan trying to get around the outside. Nice move. He hasn't really starred in our championship so far. He's been sort of lingering around the mid-pack, but that was a fantastic move. Basso going to try and get back up the inside of him into the Abbey chicane, and they've both got to leave each other a bit of room. They make it through, and Jordan is ahead.
Yeah, just behind them you got Gary Thomas, who is sporting the Niki Lauda tribute livery today.
So apparently Shane Jordan this is his debut in the. I could have sworn I saw him in the Charlotte race. Maybe it's because I've spent so much time in the practice sessions this weekend. So the debutant doing very well indeed. So John Lang has had enough somewhere, because he's now behind James Wingfield in 3rd place, and has got Carl Power and Edward Shelley and Danny Henny for close company now. They're just coming through Maggots and Beckett's now. I think Lang's just got enough of an advantage. Yeah, last lap was a 49.9, so he's definitely gone off the road somewhere.
The end of this race can't come quick enough for Harper. He just lost yet another 2 places there, and he's under pressure again from Gary Thomas now.
This is turning into a bit of a disaster race, because if he finishes 13th or lower, Hatton will take the lead of the championship.
Well, we got the reverse grid to think about, so he needs to finish no lower than 20th for him to have a decent run in the second race.
Yeah, because as it stands, he'll still be starting sort of 10th place for the first of the 2 reverse grid races. Edward Shelley just getting a little bit wide on the exit of Club, and Henny is now right with him and looking towards the inside of the Abbey chicane, and he's picked him up. Easy move for the BRKC racer. So Harper's still falling down the order, and Alex Van Gien looks like the next man to make a move on him, and there's just a gaggle of cars coming through Bridge and Priory at the moment. Oh, what a sight. Alex Van Gien sporting some new colours, as is Gary Thomas in this battle as well, with the Nicky Lauda tribute. You see the bright red colours there just ahead of Sam Harper. As I exit Luffield, Van Gien might be the next person to pick off the championship leader. So this could be a crucial moment actually in terms of the lead of the championship, because Sam Harper is 13th. He's now 14th as Grant Bichette looks to come through as well. So if it stays the way it is, Hatton will lead the championship after this first race. You couldn't write it, Chris.
No, there goes Berger, but actually Harper is trying to defend it for all he's worth through Beckett's there.
Well, he's got to start to now. I think he has to. It can't get much worse for him at this point, so he may as well start to get his elbows out. Battle for third place very much hotting up, especially between Carl Power and Danny Henny. These two have battled each other on the kart track. We'll see how they go in the sim world, as Henny had a big lunge up the inside at Vale, and Power had to give him some space. Just as well he did, because that was a collision waiting to happen, but he's held on to that 4th spot for now. But for how much longer? Because here comes Henny once again, and I think Power just waved him by that time, although Henny had a little bit of a slide coming through there, and he might just have left himself exposed. This is going defensive into Bridge Corner, and Power trying to get around the outside of him and back up the inside into Priory. That's a fantastic move from Carl Power.
Oh, but Henny's lunging back down the inside again into Brooklands. He's got him. Is Power going to be able to go back inside in Luffield? No, he's cut him off.
He's got to be careful for Shelley now as well, though Henny a little bit wide in the middle of the corner. That should give him a slightly better run out of the corner. So David Hatton has just started his final lap. Gap of 4.8 seconds for him ahead of James Wingfield. This will be his second victory in the Formula Renault Challenge. Oddly enough, his first one was at the Silverstone National Circuit. But who is going to be joining him on the podium? Can John Lang hold on? Can Danny Henny recover after that early collision that he had to get back onto the podium? The man who started on pole position. It's been not the race he expected, I would have thought.
I'm not sure as a race anybody expected this time. No. It's all been completely chaotic.
Championship's been turned on its head 1 hour into tonight's action. So Lang, he looks pretty safe from 3rd place for now. I think it's more going to be between Power and Shelley for 4th place, and Shelley's got a run on him as they head towards the Vale chicane, but not close enough at the moment to make a move. But he might just have a look as they get down towards Abbey. Trying to find the better line on the outside towards Abbey. Meanwhile, David Hatton making his way around Bridge for the final time. And Shelley's got him. Shelley's got Power into 4th place. So he must have had a fantastic run through the Abbey chicane. And he's done a fantastic job on the last lap to take 4th place away from Carl Power. But here comes David Hatton, and it's going to be a second victory of the season. And after a disastrous race for his championship rival, Sam Harper, David Hatton comes across the line and puts himself back into championship contention with victory in race 1 at Silverstone National. James Wingfield comes over the line in 2nd place. John Lang gets 3rd. Danny Henny 4th. And Edward Shelley does pick up that 5th place ahead of Carl Power. Good last lap scrap there between them. Yella Ooms, he takes 7th place. Anil Singh in 8th. Colin Ward 9th. And Richard Spanners Ready picks up a top 10 finish. And we'll just confirm where Sam Harper is. He's just come over the line in 15th place.
Yeah, his last lap was an absolute belter in terms of defence. He was under massive pressure from Rosales and Meyer, and Rosales actually came across the line less than a tenth apart from Harper, so he did very well
tight,
to defend that. Yeah. He benefited from Rosales and Meyer having a little battle behind him of their own, so they lost a bit of time through Stowe Corner.
Van Gien 13th. Just behind Shane Jordan on his debut in the Formula Renault Challenge. That is very impressive. 21st to 12th. So he's kept it clean. So we saw some of the other guys involved in that as well. Alexander Dobertsberger down in 31st place. Steve Ficacci 32nd as well. Something happened to Gary Thomas right at the end there, because we saw him in that scrap for the sort of just trying to break into the top 10, but he's ended up a lap down in 33rd place. And Gregory Leader, he did not get going, as I suspected. We saw him blinking on the grid. He never got going. He is last, and so that means we're only going to have 35 cars for races 2 and 3, I would suspect, unless he can get back in. But that's going to put us on reverse grid pole position for race 2 will be Garen Batten, ahead of Barry Kemp, John McClintock, Conor Meyer, and Adam Rosales. And so Sam Harper will be right behind them as well. So he's got a slightly improved grid position for race 2.